Hey guys, I know that I told you this week would be a normal week, but unfortunately I woke up a little under the weather Sunday morning. Um, Started running a little fever in the afternoon, so I'm gonna take Monday off and try to go to the doctor and make sure there's nothing going on that I can bring to you. But I also told you that we're going to move forward and we're not going to fall backwards. So uh, let's try to keep moving forward. And I'm going to lead you through our lessons for today. All right, so today we are going to start looking at this text titled Fish Cheeks by Amy Tan. This is a little bit about Amy. She was born in 1952, so she's 69 years old. She lives in Oakland, California, obviously not from around here. Born in the U.S. to immigrant parents from China, Amy Tan grew up in San Francisco Bay Area in a succession of 12 homes by the time she graduated from high school. I moved a pretty good bit as a kid, but I don't think I lived in 12 homes by the time I graduated, probably about 5 or 6. Tan is best known for novels that focus on mother-daughter relationships and Chinese-American culture. Novels like 1989's The Joy Luck Club. So the cultural context. So we need to know a little bit about what's going on, what we're going to be reading. And so a traditional Chinese holiday meal may include several kinds of fish, sometimes served whole. Tofu, pickled vegetables, and rice. The New Year's holiday and meal is perhaps the most important in the Chinese calendar. For Chinese Christians, the Christmas holiday is also very important. So we can tell by looking at this, probably going to be talking about some food today. I love the topic. Not sure if I'm good on fish served whole and some of the food options that you're going to be talking about today, but maybe that's something that you enjoy. We're also going to be doing a genre study, the personal essay. A personal essay is a short nonfiction work that is written to express the writer's thoughts about a single subject. The personal essays are written from the first person point of view using pronouns such as I and we. Personal essays frequently reveal something about the life of the essay's author and can be written for a variety of purposes. Okay, so as you ought to be getting a clue here that we're going to be looking at a personal essay. So this is going to be written from first person point of view. Probably going to be talking about some of this author, Amy Tan's life. Now, if you don't already have the text in front of you, I'm going to ask the teacher in the room if you'll just kind of pause this video for a minute so that everybody can get that text in front of them, whether they want to use the Google Classroom version that is there or the paper copy. I think it's on one of the top of one of the bookshelves in my classroom. That's up to them. We'll give just a few minutes, let everybody have that text in front of them, and then we'll move on and start talking about the vocabulary. Alright, now that you've had a few minutes to get that text in front of you, let's go ahead and look at the vocabulary. So we're only looking at 3 words today. So that'll give you plenty of time to really kind of dig in. Now, we started talking last week about context clues. And context clues are important for, yes, being able to define the words and know what they mean, but also looking at each word in the context of what you're looking at and what you're reading. And so let me give you a quick example of kind of how I want you to do a little bit of the same but a little bit different than what we've done in the past. So the first word that we come across is the word appalling. All right, and I'm just going to read this paragraph. It says, on Christmas Eve, I saw that my mother had outdone herself in creating a strange menu. She was pulling back veins out of the backs of fleshy prawns. Now, to be honest, I had to look up that word because I don't know what a prawn is. I did kind of figure that it was probably some kind of an animal, but I looked it up, and it turns out that it is it's seafood, kind of like shrimp. But anyway, so the kitchen was littered with appalling mounds of raw food. Now, this right here, sometimes we overlook these things. This is a colon. Now, a lot of times in a text, when you see a colon, they're going to tell you about something. So this says appalling mounds of raw food. And then when I see that colon there, I know that it's probably fixing to give me some examples of what it was talking about. So we're talking about appalling mounds of raw food. I'm not sure what appalling means, but let's look at the examples that it's going to give us. A slimy rock cod with bulging eyes that pleaded not to be thrown into a pan of hot oil. Tofu, which looked like stacked wedges of rubbery white sponges. A bowl soaking dried fungus back to life. A plate of squid, their backs crisscrossed with knife markings so they resembled bicycle tires. So when I look at the example that it's given there, this seems kind of gross, kind of weird. You know, we got slimy food, we got bulging eyes. I think the author was very specific with the words here. Tofu, which look like stacked wedges of rubbery sponges. I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound like something yummy to me. A bowl soaking dried fungus usually doesn't sound like anything good. And a plate of squid that's been crisscrossed with knife markings. And so you see here I highlighted these words, and I kind of see this connection here. This is the clues that lets me know what appalling means. Now, of course, I can always, especially if I'm at a computer, it's real simple. I can right-click on this word, click Define Appalling, and let's see how close I am. So, causing shock or dismay. We got some synonyms: shocking, horrific, horrifying, atrocious, odious, revolting. So it seems like we got some pretty good, by looking at these examples, we're pretty good at looking at this, because when we're looking at a test or if we're reading a book, we're not always going to stop and find a dictionary. We're just going to take what's in the text, try to use what we do know to figure out what we don't know. Alright, so whatever teacher's in the room, if you'll just kind of pause this video, give students some time to read through the text, find these 3 words, see if you can not only find the definition, but what kind of connections is the author trying to make. How did you use context to determine the meaning of the words? And then take a few minutes, talk to a partner. You can divide that up however you need to, whatever teacher's in the room, and see what you can come up with. Alright, go ahead and pause the video and take a few minutes. Alright, so you've had some time to look at some vocabulary, read through the text one good time, and now let's dig in and look at these questions. Now, as you're looking at these questions, we're going to be doing basically the same thing that we've done before, but I do want you to start when you are discussing with your partner. So read through the questions, read through the text, answer the questions. But when you have that time to talk with your partner, start talking about how you see that in the text. So this first question: why does Amy Tan cry when she finds out that the boy she is in love with is coming to dinner? Use evidence from the text to support your answer. So in your conversation, we should hear some things like, well, according to the text, or in paragraph 1, it shows us, or it tells us, some of the same kind of things that we see in our Say Mean Matter. Include those into your conversation, because what research shows us is that your conversation is going to influence your writing far more than your writing will influence your conversation. So the more we talk about this and we use the right language, the better our writing is going to be as well. Alright, go ahead and pause the video, give students 10 or 15 minutes to read through the text, answer these questions. These are brief answers, not writing a paragraph or anything like that. And then give a few minutes for students to partner up, talk about their answers, talk about what they found, see if they agree on answers. Even if they do agree, what kind of things did they find in the text that really supported what they thought. Alright, so this is our last thing we're going to do with this text today. We're going to do our write out with it, and then we'll look at your article of the week, give you a few minutes to do that if you still have time left in class. So, as a child, the dinner was embarrassing to Tan, but as an adult, she shares what she learned from the experience. Think about a time when you had an embarrassing moment. What happened? How did it make you feel? What did you learn from it? Write it in your notebooks and do a turn and talk. So, just to give you something that came to mind, I have plenty of embarrassing moments. Some that are embarrassing but embarrass my kids, so I'm not going to share those, but I'll share a slightly embarrassing moment. As y'all know, I was a band director before I started teaching ELA and other courses. And one time I was, we have color guard. Those are the ones that spin a flag on the marching field. And they were practicing, and I was notorious for just kind of walking through as they were practicing. And as I walked through, I didn't realize that one of the students was about to spin her flag, and when she did, it caught me right across the eye, and it hit. I didn't get stitches or anything, but probably should have, and it just split my eyebrow open, blood dripping down my face. And of course, it was about the middle of the day, and a lot of students around, embarrassing. And of course, it got around the school as well to other teachers that love to poke some fun at it. Again, not a major embarrassing story, but something I prefer not to do again. Is there anything that you can think of that you've had as an embarrassing moment in your life? And like I said, I understand if you don't want to share anything majorly embarrassing, because you're going to be talking and sharing with your partners, but maybe there's something just remotely embarrassing that you've done at some point in your schooling, or up to this age. All right, so teacher in the room, if you can go ahead and just give them some time to jot down just a couple of minutes, and then discuss what they have, and then share the video about the article of the week. Thanks.